Hi, my name is Brittany Fouche, and I teach voice at the University of North Florida. I'm excited to be joining you this week for UNF's virtual Jacksonville Sings, and today I'd like to talk a little bit about auditioning. So when I finished grad school, I started doing young artist auditions with opera companies, and I kind of wish that I had had a crash course in all the things that have to do with auditions, because we spend a lot of time preparing vocally for our auditions. We pick pieces that suit us, and we learn them well, and we add expression and artistry and character, but we don't always think about the other aspects of the audition, and they are just as important as how well we sing once we get into the audition room. So just wanted to give you a few tips and a few tools today that you can use when you're preparing for auditions. The first thing I want to talk about is your resume. So in order to get an audition, you will usually send in a resume. And this is just like a resume for a job, except your experience will all correlate to your art. It should fit on one page. Here is my resume from last year so that you can see a little bit about what it looks like. It all fits on one page. I have my headshot up at the top and my name clearly visible at the top so that they know exactly what they're looking at when they get it. If you're auditioning as a soloist, you should include your roles performed and your concert work. And if you're auditioning for an ensemble, you could list ensembles in which you've performed and possibly even works and masterworks that you've performed with those ensembles. But it should be well organized. Mine is organized into opera roles and concert work, then education, training and outreach, awards, and other material, coaches, directors, conductors I've worked with. But this is my professional resume. It will likely look very different than your resume if you're a student. But those are the categories that you'll want to be filling in eventually. Your education can refer to your eventual music degree or degrees, should you desire to pursue that route, or it can include your training with specific ensembles, teachers, coaches, or different programs you've been a part of or workshops that you've taken part in. At the bottom, you should have special skills. This is where you can list piano or other instruments that you've studied. You can list languages in which you're proficient, dance skills. Those are all great options here. You could also list things such as acrobatics or any other training that you think would be useful in the arena for which you are auditioning. If you're doing stagecraft, combat, things like that would go in that area as well. Anything that you think would be useful for them to know. Your music, you need to have a music binder with you when you audition so that the pianist can play for you. So here's an example of a not very professional music binder. There's music hanging out at the bottom. It's not organized at all inside. It's just a big lump of music. It's a ton of music. So this would be more of an example of a binder of music that you're studying, not necessarily an audition binder. For your audition binder, you're going to want to have a three ring binder that is 1 inch. Pianists prefer to have a standard 1 inch so that they're not having to learn how to flip over different sized rings. Mine happens to be black. Yours does not have to be black. It just needs to look professional. So just make sure that it looks good on the outside, the binding is all intact and not falling open, and that it lays flat on the piano so it's not continually folding in on the pianist as they're trying to play. Inside my binder, I have nothing in this front pocket, nice and clean. But I have my first piece of music that I'll sing right at the front so that the pianist doesn't have to be digging through my binder trying to find the piece that I've just quickly said that I'm going to sing, but it's right there on top. And then I have tabs for each of my other pieces so that if and when the panel asks for another piece, the pianist can easily find them. I also have in my back pocket, I don't have any extra music or receipts or random things back there that don't apply to my audition. I have extra copies of my resume and rep list, sometimes my headshot, but that's it. I also have, if there are any cadenzas or special things that I'll be singing, I have those written into the music so that the pianist is not trying to find where I am if I add a cadenza or add a note or a breath where there shouldn't be one or isn't normally one, I should say. I have all of those written in so that they know what to expect and they can follow me easily and clearly without feeling stressed. That makes you look good, that makes the pianist look good, and makes for a much better audition. So your sheet music should be well copied, meaning that it's straight. I can't tell you how many times I've copied and recopied and copied music because it turned out crooked, but it really is worth it to have it straight on the page and to have it double-sided. It should not be in sheet protectors. That is not necessary. It makes a glare for the pianist, so just make sure it's just clean copies of music in there, no sheet protectors. One important note, don't include any music in your binder except for the music that you plan to sing at that audition. So don't have extra music in there that you're singing for the next audition, or if you've decided I'm not going to sing this piece today because I don't feel good, take those things out. I have heard many stories about the pianist saying something to the audition panel about something else that was in the binder and the singer not being prepared to sing it that day. And that just makes you look a little unorganized. So only pieces in your binder that you are prepared to sing for that audition. Let's talk a little bit about your outfit. So your audition outfit should show your personality without being distracting. I know that that's a little bit hard to pin down what's distracting to each audition panel, but just a good rule of thumb is small patterns or textures or solid colors. It doesn't have to be concert black, just something that shows your personality. This can be, for women, a dress. It can be a skirt and a top. It can be a pantsuit, or it can even be a jumpsuit. Just something that you feel good in and don't have to be messing with all the time. Make sure that you do a mirror check and think about the fact that you could be either on a stage above the panel, so you don't want it to be too short in case you are above them, and also not too low cut in case you're sometimes on a stage actually below the panel. And so if it's a little too low cut, the whole audition you're going to be thinking about what they're seeing rather than how you're singing. So just make sure you're comfortable and that you feel good and look professional. A few pieces of jewelry are fine, again, as long as they're not too distracting. Make sure when you look in the mirror that you see your face and not just what you're wearing. Choose shoes that you feel good in. It doesn't matter if they're flats, if they have a little heel. Just make sure that you feel good. You can walk in them because you will be walking to the piano and away from it, so you don't want to be clomping along or unsteady. Make sure that they match the dressiness of your outfit. I cannot express this enough. So if you're wearing a dress and you have blingy jewelry on, you don't want to be wearing Birkenstocks or tennis shoes. So just make sure that no matter how high the heel is on your shoe, that it matches the dressiness of your outfit. Make sure your hair is styled in a way that allows your face to be the focus. You don't want them to be looking at you constantly pushing your hair out of your face or having a shadow because of the lighting. You really just want to feel comfortable. So I always pin this part of my hair back so that the pianist can see me from this angle and can breathe with me, and also so that there's no shadow on my face or that I'm trying to flick it out of my eyes every 5 seconds. For men, your audition wear should always include dress pants and a dress shirt with good shoes. So if you're wearing black or gray pants, you can wear black shoes and a black belt. If you're wearing khaki or brown or tan, or sometimes even certain shades of gray pants, you could wear brown shoes and a brown belt, but make sure they match, make sure they're good shoes. Depending on what you're auditioning for and the style of music that you're singing, adding a tie and or a jacket is also a good option. No hats, though. Hats cover your face and make it harder to see your expression. So no hats, guys, or ladies for that matter. And gents, also make sure that your hair is out of your face. If that means putting it back in a hairband, a ponytail, or if that means gelling it back, if it's in your face, just make sure that we can see your face and eyes. As far as your audition etiquette, when you walk into the room, walk confidently over to the crook of the piano. That is where you go. If there is an upright piano off to the side, you can just choose center stage in front of the panel. That's fine. Go ahead and hand your music to the pianist, and if you need to speak to the pianist, do so briefly. Don't have a whole long conversation before you greet the audition panel. Just make it brief. So this is one part that students always feel is really awkward and they don't know what to do. So unless the panel greets you by name, be prepared to introduce yourself and the song you'd like to sing first. But be flexible. If I walk in and they say, "Hi, Brittany, what would you like to sing today?" There's no need for me to say, "Hello, my name is Brittany Fouche and I would like to sing." It's fine to just say what you'd like to sing and answer their questions. So don't feel robotic about it. Just be prepared for them to either say your name or say nothing, and you get to do the whole introduction. After you finish your piece, make sure you maintain character all the way until the very last note of the piece, not just when you finish singing. Wait silently until the panel speaks to you. Sometimes they're going to have their heads down and be writing frantically, or they'll be talking amongst themselves. Don't feel awkward. It happens at every audition. That's what they're doing, is taking notes on what you've sung and how you've sounded. So let them do that and just stand there silently until they say something to you. If all they say is "thank you," that's your cue to say thank you, grab your music, and make your exit. But if they ask for something further, then keep singing and enjoy. So just remember that the people behind the table really do want you to succeed. They want to see someone who enjoys the process and is professional and is kind. So there's no need to be nervous. So take your nervous energy and turn it into excitement. You get to do what you love. And you get to come into this audition and spend 5 minutes or 10 minutes with this panel doing what you love. So no need to be nervous. Turn that into excitement. Thank you so much to UNF for hosting this year's virtual Jack Sings, and thank you so much to all of you for taking part in this week.